Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know it's been a while since I've been here. And my first video, I was going to, well actually I was waiting for, I ordered a new Mac so I could edit faster and stuff and make better quality videos. And my first video was going to be about, where have I been, my new setup, and uni really. But I decided that it would be wrong of me to do that video without addressing this one first. So, in light of present things, including George Floyd and the protests that have been happening, I decided that I would make a video on white privilege and what it is, and I decided that I should use my white privilege to talk about this on a platform that I have, such as YouTube. And I know that I don't have a huge following or anything like that, but this is really important and we have to talk about it. So, as everyone knows, I study human rights in Galway, and as I said before, it would be wrong of me not to talk about this issue. So, George Floyd was a 46-year-old black man who was suffocated to death by a police officer putting his knee on his neck. And so everyone knows the phrase, "I cannot breathe." George Floyd was a human being. When he was on the ground with a knee to his neck, it seemed like his rights had been taken away as a human being, which has just enraged me and so many other people. But now I feel like, yes, we have been angry about this because George Floyd has not been the first black man or black person to be killed by the police. But it seems now that people are angry enough to actually take to the streets and protest it, which is so empowering to see, and I really hope it changes something. Talking about protests, there is one here in Derry on Saturday at 3 p.m. and I will be attending, and I really think that anyone who doesn't have work or a prior engagement should definitely go, because you really don't have any excuse. This is for people this is all Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. So I think it's important to talk about white privilege in everyday life. So as white people, we are more likely to see accurate portrayals of white people on TV instead of black people who are given racial stereotypes of themselves. White people are less likely to be followed, interrogated, or arrested by the police because they look suspicious. If white people are accused of a crime, they are less likely to be presumed to be guilty, less likely to be sentenced to death, and more likely of a fair trial. So what is scary about white privilege is that so many white people do not know that they have this power or this privilege. It is normal for white people to think that they should be given compassion for day-to-day events that may happen. White people are given more room for mistakes they make. They are given more chances, and they are given unequal fairness compared to black people. Okay, so I thought I would give you an example of what white privilege is and why it's so profound that we as white people use it to help black people. Because we have a voice, we are heard, we are protected, they are not. Okay, so I was on Twitter, obviously following the hashtag Black Lives Matter, and Dara Ó Briain, which is actually an Irish comedian, he gave a great example of white privilege. So the whole reason why George Floyd was arrested was because the store that he was at believed that he had a counterfeit note. George Floyd did not know that the money he had was counterfeit. Therefore, there was no reason why there should have been no reason why it escalated to such violence. And Dara Ó Briain, the comedian, said that it was incredible white privilege because he actually did the same thing. He had a counterfeit note, tried to buy something with it. The employee said, "Oh, you have a counterfeit note," and gave it back to him and laughed and said, "Oh, keep it as a souvenir." And Dara Ó Briain actually said he used that in a comedy show that he did, and he couldn't wrap his head around the fact that this man was killed because he didn't know he had a counterfeit note. And Dara Ó Briain survived. He lived. He tweeted about it and said that is white privilege to the highest degree, and it is so shocking. It really is hard to wrap your head around it. Now is the perfect time to speak up and to use your white privilege. If you're not sure about what's going on, or you don't want to say the wrong thing, you need to educate yourself. The world is full of ignorant people who would rather say that they don't care or they don't know enough about it to even talk about it. But that's why it's important to read, keep reading about it. Educate yourself, teach others, speak up and speak out. We may never understand, we will never understand what Black people go through, but it is important to let them know that we stand with them, and we will fight their corner for racial equality and justice. And just to finish this video, racism is taught and learned. No one is born racist. Be kind to each other and everyone. Thank you.